So I do a lot of these truth abouts. And they're always, I mean, I don't know if they're trying to be sinister or something, but every now and then, people will say, oh yeah, you think that's the truth about Nelson Mandela? I'd like to see the truth about Stefan Molyneux. Dun, dun, dun. You know, like there's some giant mothership where we keep all the fertile women bound up and inseminated by giant hydra-headed snakes ridden by Hercules, or some weird, magnificent stuff, or, you know, some sinister... Don't talk about the mothership. There's only one reason that the mothership is still alive. Anyway. But, I mean, there's nothing interesting, really. But I will tell you the truth about me, if it's of interest to you. It certainly is what drives me. And it's not a secret. It's in everything that I do. But this is the truth about me. The truth about me, my friends, is this. No one who wants to come to the future need be left behind. No one who wants to join progress gets left behind. I made it out. I made it out of the abuse. I made it out of the tyranny. I made it out of the hysteria and the hypochondria and the violence and the disconnection and the chaotic stone ape brutality of my origins. And part of me wants to just keep running straight over the horizon to the cathedral of the future that I built for myself here in Canada, and stay there and keep everyone else at bay. But I don't like a lot about the Marines, but the one thing I really like about the Marines is no one gets left behind. They even go back for bodies. But no one gets left behind. And I got out and I took my time enjoying being out. But after a while, I really could no longer ignore the reality that I was out, but very few other people were. I was out of the prison planet cage of abuse. I was out of Plato's cave. I was out of illusions and delusions, and I had found improbable, mature, connected love, satisfaction, happiness, joy, connection, love. And I always knew that I had the skill and the intelligence and the verbal fluidity to do the dance that dislodges the demons. To yodel the high octaves of truth below the snow-capped mountain so that the avalanche of bullshit falls and reveals the glowing peaks of personhood in people. And I felt that the good thing to do, the right thing to do, the responsible thing to do was to go back. To go back, not to drag people, because you can't drag people. Not to push people, because you can't push people. But to go back into the hell I came out of, and to invite people to get out. Not to go in and bomb someplace and drag people out kicking and screaming with shrapnel in their leg, but to walk through the walls and past the guard. Because when unreality becomes a ghost to you, you become a ghost to unreality. And you can walk through the walls of propaganda and nonsense, which seem firm and matrix-like to everyone in them. You can walk right through that prison. You can walk right through the guards and all they feel is a warm trickle, like they just peed themselves a little. and walk down the corridors, and with a breath and a blow, you can open the doors. And you can say, you don't have to stay here. You can leave. This is the past. This is falling away into the chasm of history. This is the ape-like prehistory of our species that has made it to a place of cell phones and fluorescent lightings almost entirely because not enough people have circled back who got out. And say to all of the people licking their chains and beating each other with their manacles, and all of the people cowering in the corner, like the beautiful ones of the endless mice utopia experiments, and say to them, hey, the door is open. Do you want to go? Do you want to leave? It doesn't have to be like this. You don't have to live like this. This is not life. You don't have to be a man trying to mate with ghosts until you become one. You don't have to be a man trying to do CPR to mummies generations dead. You don't have to bond with your beaters. You don't have to have affection for your abusers. You can have a standard and a principle of love and connection that entirely surmounts, repudiates, and escapes the historical interspecies predation of our collective histories. So come on. You don't have to stay. Through that tunnel, through that wall, over that fire, through those guards with their razor-sharp swords that never come out of their scabbards if you don't believe in them, you can get to light, to sunshine, to butterflies, to birds with rainbows for wings, and unicorns, and all the glorious and great things in life that you think are only myths, but are the only real things there are, in fact. The only truth about me that matters is that I made a commitment years and years ago to go back and to offer to anyone who wants to listen and who is willing to work that no one who doesn't want to be there has to stay there. That no one who wants to come to the future needs to stay in the past. That nobody who wants to be free needs to accept their chains. Because if one person can do it, anyone can do it. If you see one person walk through the walls of a prison, guess what? It's no longer a prison. It is only a prison of the mind because we cannot walk through real walls. And if someone comes back and offers you the vision of having walked through the walls and walked past the guards who slumber on the eaten hearts of their own offspring, then it's possible for you, and you, and you, and you. No one who wants to be free need rest in their chains. Many people gave me that gift. I am doing my best to offer that gift to everyone else. The example and the encouragement and the interaction and the cross-pollination of the future with the past. Despite all the walls and all the barriers and all the prejudices and all the cultural moats and canyons and firewalls that are supposed to keep the enlightened from the ignorant. We're supposed to escape, but we can go back and we can help others. That's the only truth about me that matters. That's the only truth that means a damn thing. And that's why I do what I do. because it meant so much to me that a few people in my life came back and helped me. I know how powerful it can be to be exposed to something better than what you have had to endure. I know how powerful that can be. Like most of us, that's why I ask people, how is your body doing? And they say almost always the same thing when they're in a connected conversation. My heart is pounding, my hand is sweaty, I can't think, I'm 1,000 thoughts of charging around my head. And I say, that's because there's a crack in the wall. That's because there's a crack in the wall. That's because there is no wall except what you've been told. And you can walk away from abuse, and you can walk away from exploitation and blood sacrifice and intergenerational predation. You can walk away from the whole unnatural, immoral, predator-prey relationship that characterizes so much of turning and biting humankind, of the wheel of history that only ever rolls downhill. It doesn't have to be your life. It doesn't have to be the lives of your children. It can all end. It can all stop. You can move outside it. You can move beyond it. You can move past it. In the past, when we were 200 people or 100 people in a tribe, there was no escape. There was no escape. Now we can move, we can change, we can reinvent ourselves, we can find our own tribe, we can find the tribe of truth, which is not a tribe, but a genuine connection of rational minds. It doesn't have to be what came before. We don't have to accept the pension of our prior combat, for good and for ill. People are coming back to help you as they came back to help me, as I'm coming back to help you, and Mike is coming back to help you, and other people are coming back to help you. They're walking through walls. You can too. That is how the world heals. That is how the children are protected. That is how the wars end, and the rapes and the assaults and the vanity and the environmental destruction and the predation on the young, on the future, on the money, on the planet that currently characterizes what we laughingly call civilization. But we can have the true civilization, which is a civilization of voluntarism, of being guided by principles rather than history, of choosing connection rather than conformity. All the things that we know we are capable of, but we don't believe in because we've not seen it. And we are all empiricists. And that's why I try to show people in my actions, in my deeds, in my courage, in my conversations, what is possible. What one person can do, another person can do. So join us, right? You don't want to live like this. You don't want to live trapped in this blood-soaked, amber, skin-encasing prison of history. Just join us. You have no idea. Let me correct that. You have an idea deep down how beautiful it is to be in relationships without censorship, without control, without hierarchy, without win-lose, without avoidance, without bullying, without manipulation and slammed doors and pettiness and haughtiness and bullshit, which is what all of that stuff in aggregation is. It doesn't have to be your future. The choices of those who came before are not your physics. The choices of those who came before are not your physics. They remain your choice. And I thoroughly and encouragingly and joyfully invite you to step out of the prison of history, individually and collectively, and let nothing come between your heart and other people. Let no cloud of history, no scar of history, no downtrodden hoofprint on your face of history come between your heart and its connection with good people. If you cannot connect with the people around you, strive to find people you can connect with. But let no cloud of history come between you and who you can connect with. That is how history wins. And don't be what remains when history wins, which is nothing but a shit stain on the ass of the planet. Don't be that. Only connect, as E.M. Forster said. Only connect, only connect, only connect. With truth, with reality, with empiricism, with reason, with each other. Speak your truth. If people recoil, find new people to speak your truth. Continue to speak your truth. If people recoil, find new people with whom to speak your truth until you can connect. And be who you are in the presence of others. Relish your existence. Relish their existence. And connect. Without vanity, without makeup, without push-up bras, without the right car or the right haircut or any haircut for that matter, without enough money, with too much money, in the wrong neighborhood, in the right neighborhood, with the right bands, with the wrong music, who cares? Only connect. Only connect. And when we connect with each other, we free the world. And that's the only truth that there is around me.